By comparison, some pieces make the segment that I held in my hand look like a fairy fly, albeit a frozen one. You see, I read today that in 2010, a piece of hail measuring almost 8 inches in diameter came down in Vivian, South Dakota. It remains the largest hailstone ever recorded in the history of Earth's history.
No chance. Wait, did you guys saw that on the car? Sorry, I have to see it again.
America. In fact, by comparison, some people...
What's up, my friend? Today I'll be reacting to British thunderstorms and got nothing on America. Well, this should be interesting. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like on this one, thank you so much for that, my friend. This is the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. You guys end up recommending this one quite a lot. Lawrence, what an amazing guy. Give him some love. That said, let's play it.
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond.
I'm aware.
One of those memos pertains to storms. So I was about to leave the house and take my puppy for a walk when I looked at the weather reports. Apparently, at the time of filming, Mother Earth is angry with Chicago and the rest of the Midwest.
Forget
because
that.
she's sending us some very unpredictable weather over the course of the next few hours. But I'm an optimist. I'm somebody who likes to turn a negative into a positive. So since we've got this stormy weather coming our way anyway, why not make a video called British Storms Ain't Got Nothing on America?
That's a great idea, but let me say one thing, my friends, before we go into the video. This may blow your mind, or not, but I don't deal with this crazy stuff. What I mean with that? There is no hurricanes, there is no crazy thunderstorms, tornadoes, you name it. Here, specific the region I live in, Portugal. But I know this is quite bad in America, right, my friends? I find this scary and fascinating at the same time. And actually, I have a question for all of you. So, I believe Florida is really bad when it comes to this type of stuff. I really believe is the worst state. But let's say I go, for example, to Texas. Texas is fine, right? There is no crazy tornadoes and thunderstorms. I believe this is more in specific states. Maybe Texas is not the best example, but if there is a state where nothing of, similar to Portugal, basically, okay, there is some storms, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Or maybe this is in all states, I'm not sure.
But before I do that, I've got a few minutes before the storm is projected to hit us, so I'm going to take the puppy for a quick walk and I'll be back in just a moment.
Okay.
If you haven't subscribed to this channel, do that now!
Already did, my friend.
Well, Arthur, I think the weather reports must be wrong. It's really dry out here.
Oh, this is fine.
Oh, Arthur, you know I haven't run since the camel incident of 1998. Keep going then, Arthur. Keep going.
This is really fine.
Coming. The rain's coming. We've got to get home.
He's fine.
Good doggy. During my time living here, one thing that's really stood out to me about Midwestern storms is that in the hours and even minutes leading up to them, there's often no hint of a storm at all. Things can be entirely placid, but then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Mother Nature lets out one huge wind gust.
Okay, that's scary. Basically, you have to pay attention to the news to know if this is coming, because there is no... Yeah, this is bad. Bad, but thank God we have information nowadays.
And as that wind blows the leaves around like ants in a tumble dryer, there's something else that accompanies it. Really f***ing ominous clouds that look like they're going to devour the motorway. And I'm often told that when clouds have those little pointy bits hanging off them, you've got to be a little bit careful because that could be the precursor to a tornado. So far...
No chance that's true. Is that true?
We've got nothing like that on the horizon today, even though much of the Midwest has experienced that recently, and now that I think about it, it could happen. But thunderstorms, that's what we're here for. Let's see how it's getting on.
Okay, I mean, it's bad, but this is nothing, right? There is much worse weather conditions in America than this.
Amazingly, amid all of this rumbling that's going on, my animals have been handling it quite well. I was never really concerned about my cat, who's experienced this many times during the 13 years he's been on this planet. Thankfully, unlike some cats, he's not under the misapprehension that he's hearing a giant vacuum cleaner, and just looks at the storm with the scorn that it deserves. And Arthur.
Okay, this is interesting because from my experience, and again, like I said, I don't deal with crazy thunderstorms here, but from time to time there is one that is a bit worse. Cats, they are very relaxed on when it comes to natural weather events, but I believe dogs are quite different. At least my experience again.
A little puppy experiencing his first ever thunderstorm, at least on my watch. And mostly, in terms of the thunderstorm, he's fine. He spent most of it chewing on his toy because he's going through some dental pains like all puppies do at this age, poor little bugger. By far and away, the southern United States sees more thunderstorms than anywhere else in the nation, with Fort Myers, Florida recording an average of 89 thunderstorms per year. Mental. But I've just learned that one of the most devastating thunderstorm complexes occurred here in the Midwest. Back in 2012, when I was still living in central Indiana, a fast-moving derecho emerged in Iowa before sweeping its way through Illinois and then clear to the Atlantic coast. On its path of destruction, it claimed the lives of 22 people and brought damages of $2.9 billion. And having experienced...
Oh boy, this is crazy. So, this is just not in the south. Okay.
The derecho of 2020, I'm familiar with how such storms often coincide with the hot temperatures of summer. But they're not uncommon here in early spring, as the thermometer flirts with the 60s, the temperature, not the decade. Anyway, I think you're going to want to see this, because in the last few minutes there's been a development. Yeah,
Still falling?
it is still coming down. Yeah, that is the craziest looking hail I have ever seen in my life. We don't get anything like this in the UK.
How's the car looking?
It's mostly good. That is a piece of hail that I just picked up from the ground outside.
What?
It is...
That's big. That's ice, right? Man, if you go... Oh no. If you go outside and that hits your head, you may die. Jesus Christ. Okay. That's kinda big, right?
Definitely the biggest piece of hail I've...
So this happens here from time to time, but not this big. I guess everything is bigger in Texas. Not just Texas. Also America.
ever had in my hand. And I have to drop it now because it's melting. America is no stranger to large pieces of hail that hail from America.
Okay, those are a bit more normal. But this can damage cars. And maybe even windows on houses. Right?
In fact, by comparison, some pieces make the segment that I held in my hand look like a fairy fly, albeit a frozen one. You see, I read today that in 2010, a piece of hail measuring almost 8 inches in diameter came down in Vivian, South Dakota. It remains the largest hailstone ever recorded in the history of Earth's history.
No chance. Wait, did you guys saw that on the car? Sorry, I have to see it again.
America. In fact, by comparison, some people...
Dude, if that hits your head, well played, right? It's over. Wait, what? Okay, I mean... Yeah.
Pieces make the segment that I held in my hand look like a fairy fly, albeit a frozen one. You see, I read today that in 2010, a piece of hail measuring almost 8 inches in diameter came down in Vivian, South Dakota. It remains the largest hailstone ever recorded in the history of Earth's history. The second...
South Dakota. South Dakota is north, even though the name says south, but is north, right?
Largest was found in Nebraska some 7 years earlier, proving once again that everything is bigger in the United States except Q's, but that's irrelevant.
But wait a second. Okay, now I know I already asked the question, but tell me one thing. There is a state in America, please tell me this is true. There is a state in America that does not deal with this, right? At least one. You guys have 50, pick one. Right? I believe is Wyoming. But that's a bit irrelevant since no one lives there. But please tell me, I'm joking, but please tell me there is a state that does not deal with all of this.
My neck of the woods, the hail lasted all of 60 seconds. And just like that, as was the case before,
Actually, let's run it back, sorry.
again, that everything is bigger in the United States except Q's, but that's irrelevant. But in my neck of the woods, the hail lasted all of 60 seconds. And just like that, as was the case before the storm started, everything is now placid. The storm has stopped. Which is good news for Arthur, because we can now take him on that longer walk, and I've just realised he's going to run through all of the sloshy mud. Alright, Tara, are you ready? It turns out neither of us were ready for what happened next.
Oh boy.
Ominous. Do you think that's the end of the world, or just the coming of a tornado? Probably neither. Probably just testing it.
Wait, what is that noise? Dude, I would be so scared. Imagine if I arrive in America, I'm chilling, all of a sudden... I was thinking, man, Jesus, I came there and all of a sudden they started World War III.
Probably go and find out. This was no test. Just when we thought it was safe to go back into the water, an even bigger shark was emerging from the deep. The Chicagoland area was under a tornado warning. And to be clear, the shark bit was a metaphor, I hope. Yeah, I know you like looking at the wind, Kafka, but we've got to...
Okay, dumb question. I don't even know the difference that well between tornado, cyclone, hurricane. Thunderstorm is evident. It's a storm with thunders, right? And lightning. Tornado, I know, is the thing that everything goes crazy. Hurricane is probably a crazy tornado, but I'm not totally sure actually. In Portuguese, I would feel more confident with those definitions.
Go. So currently in the Pittsburgh potty, I have toilet roll for no real reason. We decided, since it's only a few minutes, this tornado warning that's in effect, we wouldn't bring down the whole crate. We just bring him down on a leash and let him roam a little bit. Kafka doesn't have that luxury, because if he did, he would tear Arthur to pieces. Not literally, but they do tend to fight. So yeah, we are just seeing it out. It's supposed to only last about 12 minutes or something like that, and that's pretty normal. I mean, these tornado warnings don't last long. The weather systems move pretty fast. Kafka's trying to escape as we speak. You want any words for your audience? I know, I hate putting you in here, but you know, gotta take these precautions. And I'm tired. Among the world's countries, the United States in particular is synonymous with tornadoes.
Dude, look at the devastation. And the state does not pay for this, right? America is a great country, but in terms of weather, you guys have... Yeah, you guys have some crazy weather. This is a natural phenomenon, right? Is that a word? I hope so. But you guys probably get what I'm trying to say.
In fact, of the 67 tornadoes powerful enough in history to have been classed as an F5, 59 were recorded in the US, and that number is even higher if you account for Brock Lesnar.
Wait, what? Brock Lesnar? Okay, what?
In fact, of the 67 tornadoes powerful enough in history to have been classed as an F5, 59 were recorded in the US, and that number is even higher if you account for Brock Lesnar. And in 1925, one of those F5s became the deadliest in US history when it ripped through Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana along the longest tornado path ever recorded. In total, this one tornado claimed the lives of almost 700 people, the vast majority of them right here in Illinois. Well,
Oh, I was not well prepared for this. Sorry, I was not well prepared for this video, my friends. Not at all. Wait, I really thought this was more in the south, and other than that was fine, you know. Never mind.
after all that, according to the radar, it really is all over now. So Arthur, you've earned a trip to the dog park. And I'll be honest with you, it's completely and utterly a little bit not surprising that Arthur wasn't scared of the thunder, because he's not even afraid of the big dogs. And I have to admit, he played
That's a gangster right there.
with them in a manner that was admirable and disgusting. There was a lot of cleanup after that. Well, after all that drama, that's it for this episode. Let me know in the
Oh,
comments below
great
if
one.
you've ever experienced a storm quite like this one. I'm Lawrence
No.
Brown. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to this channel so that I don't have to. And a big thank you to my patrons who make these videos possible. They even paid for the thunderstorm. If you would like to become a patron of Lost in the Pond and support everything I do, you can do so today at patreon.com/lostinthepond.
Okay, great video. I mean, Lawrence always makes great stuff. Just want to clarify one thing, because I believe at the beginning I did not explain myself that well. Of course, we also have thunderstorms where I live. So I probably, the way I was talking, you guys may have thought that we don't have that type of stuff. What I mean to say is nothing, that goes too far. I mean, sometimes, yes, there is a tree that goes down. But that's basically about it, For example, I never saw a house destroyed because of, because of the weather. And I believe that's probably a bit common in America. You guys for sure already experienced that, or you guys know someone that had problems with a tornado or something. I don't know. But the video was quite crazy to me. Probably one of the videos that, I was not well prepared at all for this. I thought was, it's bad. But America is still a great country, my friends. And that's it for today, my friends. Hope you end up enjoying this video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like. Also consider to subscribe if you are new to my channel. And also let me remember you about one thing. I have a Patreon community. I put videos there a bit earlier than I put on YouTube. So if you want to support me and have access to early content, go to my Patreon. I will leave a link on my description. Take a look at that. You can also scan the QR code you'll be seeing here, and that's it.